Greetings, Earth people. You are tuned to The Wrong Hero, starring in Stupefaction Guaranteed. Because that's my motto. Stupefaction Guaranteed, or your money back, if I can remember where I put it. I'm the wrong hero, and I'm in a hole, but I think I'll dig just a little deeper, just to make sure. I don't care if my world caves in. I live in a cave. I am not alienated. I am an alien. Because I'm the wrong hero, and the wrong hero is magic. Because the wrong hero can be in many places at the same time. Or maybe I'm thinking of Santa Claus. I'm the wrong hero, and this is my pledge to you. I will never lie to you. But I got some boys on my staff who will. Like I said at least 3 or 4 times so far, I am the wrong hero. And if I have given you the impression that I am dangerous and unreliable, let me be the first to correct that. As a matter of fact, in matters of money, I am like most Americans, infinitely malleable and eager to serve the depraved whims of any bloated plutocrat who will so much as toss me a nickel. And now I'd like to sing a song. I'll suck up to you. I'll tell you you're the bee's knees. 'Cause I'm a stage performer and I'm eager to please. I know I'm not much on looks, but I'm down here on my knees. Please love me, you schnooks, 'cause I'm eager to please. Today is a day that will go down in the history of 1994 as the warmest day of the year thus far. Also, the coldest day of the year thus far. Christmas is over. They say that Christmas comes but once a year. Come to think of it, so do most other holidays. For that matter, so do most other days. It is customary this time of year for people to take their vacations in Florida. Well, I too intend to go to Florida, but I'm not going to visit the magic kingdom of Disney World. I intend to visit the wrong hero's manic kingdom, in which Mickey Mouse says, "Thanks for the steroids, Uncle Walt." And Donald Duck says, because he has taken too many barbiturates. And Goofy always has a smile on his face. Maybe because of the THC that I have thoughtfully put in his water. I'm the wrong hero, and I am a member of the Art Astigmatics. I don't know what I like, but I know art. I'm thinking of coming out with a movie, RoboCop 4, Robo Traffic Cop. You have parked in a landing zone, and now your car has been completely crushed. Well, as long as I'm up here and addressing myself to the community, I would like to give my public service announcement. Kids, stay in school. We don't want you around here. I'm the wrong hero, and I've discovered a wonder drug. It helps everybody. There are no side effects. It is not addictive, and it doesn't interfere with memory or perception. It's called reality. Right about now, I feel as though I'm in a goldfish bowl. Fleshy human things! I'm the wrong hero, and in all sincerity and frankness, I would like to say, for the record, that this is the most humiliating ordeal of my life. I think in the future, I am going to form a union so I can have a guaranteed salary and health benefits long after I have ceased to be productive. Because you know, they say that 15% of all the people who have ever lived are alive today, and none of them are here. I'm the wrong hero. I can suck a tennis ball through a garden hose, but you'll have to contact my agent, and that spectacle will cost you considerably extra. Now this word for junkie gum. Does the boss say you can't smoke crack at work? Chew junkie gum. For with the working of your jaws, you tell your employers, junkie, junkie, junkie. And for you women, it proves that you can use your mouth with great enthusiasm and paves the way for a higher paying position. I'm the wrong hero, and my motto is, dogs bark, the caravan goes on, and all of a sudden, I've got a splitting headache. Gee, where have all the people gone? Well, I'm tempted to say that they're nursing a hangover. Except for this individual who's lurking in the doorway. You want to know what a successful party is? I'll tell you.
A successful party?
A successful party. You can figure it out mathematically. take the number of drunks lying on the floor and multiply it by the number of ounces of vomit on the nitrous oxide tank.
There you go.
On a scale of 1 to 100, there's the success of your party. So, thought I'd share that with you. I'm the wrong hero, and I like to walk up to policemen and say, "Attention, stand away from the vehicle." I had to race to get up here. I was running late all day long. I had the kind of day where you take a piss and you sneeze and the toilet lid falls down. My girlfriend said to me, if you had gotten up 30 seconds earlier today, we could have made love. My dog said to me, if you had gotten up 30 seconds earlier today, you could have taken me for a walk. This is a family show. The Manson family, anyway. Well, I broke up with my girlfriend, but I went about it in a diplomatic way. I said to her, when I have sex with you, I see God, and He told me to stop seeing you. My girlfriend was an existentialist, so I gave her a disengagement ring. You know, guys have their ups and downs. For example, on the day that Einstein discovered the theory of relativity, his wife yelled at him for leaving a wet towel on the bed. So you can't win. And while we're on this subject, why does everybody think Einstein is so smart? What about Heisenberg, huh? When are you going to have all the Heisenberg jokes and whatnot? I'm starting a housing development called Einstein Acres. And the motto is, if you lived here, you'd be home by now, relatively speaking. I don't have an awful lot of success with women, as you might have guessed. Perhaps it has something to do with the pickup lines that I utilize. For example, in a past life, you owed me money. Or, I know where you're ticklish. Or, I'm so crazy about you, I'm having my name changed to, I'm crazy about you. Or, my favorite pickup line, I like to leave vomit on the bar in lieu of a tip. Or, I just had my teeth cleaned and I made my dentist sick to his stomach. Or, in a philosophical bent, inside of every thin woman, there's a fat man struggling to get out. Me. Well, it's Christmas time, and a lot of the kids were clamoring for their own pet, and well, if you live in an apartment, you can't really give them a cat or even a dog. So maybe you compromise and you give them a goldfish. But when you give your kids a goldfish, they ask a lot of embarrassing questions like, Mommy, what's that big brown thing hanging out of Swimmy's bum? Oh, that's his tail. Why is Swimmy floating on his side at the bottom of the tank? Oh, he's a flounder. Well, I was looking in the Boston Globe today, and it said that While he was in prison, Whitey Bulger participated in LSD experiments in that he got 3 days off for every hit that he took. My question is, how could he tell he got 3 days off? Also in the news, last year, the Harvard Business School built a chapel on their grounds. Now to me, that's sort of like putting a cuspidor in a plugged up 5-hole outhouse. But that's just me. Well, today and tomorrow is the last days, and you can go to the Museum of Fine Arts and view the Rubens exhibit for $7. $7? $7 to see a bunch of fat women? I can go into Harvard Square and do that for nothing. That's what I say. I'd like to tell you a little fable. I met a man with no feet, so I let him walk all over me. And that's called affirmative action. And again, I was sorry because I had no shoes. And again, I met a man with no feet. So I kicked him good and said, "Excuse me." And that's called a return to family values. I often think of things that happened in the past. For example, my career. And every now and then I think of the song Philadelphia Freedom by Elton John, in which Mr. Reginald Dwight sings, "Philadelphia Freedom put me knee-high to a man." Well, let me tell you something. He didn't need Philadelphia Freedom for that. I was in a band myself. They were called the Street Beatles. We had a single. The A-side was, "I Wanna Hold Your Purse." And the B-side was, "A Taste of Vomit." Well, I often think about music and how much I hate it. For example, I hate folk music. I have discovered that folk music is every bit as oppressive as the injustices it is theoretically attempting to eradicate. I've also discovered that I don't much care for classical music. Have you ever met anybody who listens to classical music that you couldn't take in a fair fight? And I'm tired of country and western music. Country and western music is a soap opera for drunks as the world spins. And most of all, I am sick of rock and roll. Rock and roll is capitalism in 1-4-5. Ka-toon, 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 fornicate, fornicate, die. I'm working on a line of nasty greeting cards. And here are some samples. Sorry you were committed to the insane asylum. Or am I? Congratulations on being placed in a witness protection program. Now where do I send the card? Too bad about that body in your trunk. Getting those bloodstains out is murder. First-degree murder. Too bad your parent died, but he talked too much. And so you have bulimia. Do me a favor and wipe it on the dog. Well, as I have probably reminded you at least several times, I am the wrong hero. And I am like a fox. I like to stick my pointy snout into other people's garbage. But I am also like an owl. I have a flat face, I hoot a lot, and I endorse my own line of greasy potato chips. I might also add that I'm healthy as an ox. I have flies in my ears, stones in my belly, and I smell like raw sewage. They say that nothing's more fun than a barrel of monkeys, but I beg to differ. In my mind, nothing's more fun than a barrel of sheep, because monkeys scratch and bite. When I was a child, my mother used to read to me. She'd say, "The three little kittens have lost their mittens and don't know where to find them." And I'd say to her, "Kittens wearing mittens? Kittens wearing mittens? What kind of crazy nightmare world is this you've brought me into, Mother?" When we were growing up, we were poor, but dirty. We'd go to the people next door and I'd say, "Can I borrow a cup of paste?" "Never mind the cup, I'll eat it here." Well, now the time that remains, as though it were finite, I'd like to share with you some of the wisdom of the wrong hero. Wise old saying number one. The nice thing about slavery is it isn't complicated. Wise saying number two. Masturbation is the poor man's Nintendo. Wise saying number three. Everybody else always ruins it for a few assholes. Wise saying number four. When you play checkers with a chimpanzee, let him win 2 out of 5, just to keep his interest up. Wise saying number 5. When giants learn to dance, a lot of dwarves get crushed. And you can't pay me enough to clean up after them. I'm the wrong hero. I gave myself away. And now I want me back. Here are some more wise sayings. Wise saying number 6. I can start drinking anytime I want to. Wise saying number 7. You don't need drugs. Give them to me. Wise saying number 8. I used to use drugs, but now I have a prescription, and it's medicine. Wise saying number 9. I can see a thing without my glasses. And wise saying number 10. The Pope has said that marriage and drug addiction in marriage is grounds for divorce. I say marriage is grounds for drug addiction. I'm the wrong hero, and I say kill farmers. They're an enormous conspiracy. They stand around all day, hitching their thumbs into their suspenders as if to say, I am master of all I survey, which unfortunately is 40 acres of rocky ground and a spavined mule. Not only that, they control the nation's food supply. Keep that in mind. Farmers control the nation's food supply. I believe that my house was built on the site of an Indian burial ground. How do I know? Maybe it was the stone axes and the flint arrowheads. Or maybe it was the peyote buttons in the shape of bingo markers that gave it away. I don't know. They say that George Washington never told a lie. My question is, how did he get laid? I'm the wrong hero, and I was the first man to menstruate. But I would never dream of using my mother's tampon. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a hooker in Las Vegas. But this, I suppose, is second best. I'm the wrong hero, and I like to take a 2-minute work break every 5 minutes or so. I wrestled with my conscience, and I won. I cheated, and I don't care. I was born under a lucky star, and it felt so good when they pried it off of me. I have the weight of the world on my shoulders, and my head was completely crushed. I think I'm going to make up for my past mistakes by dwelling on the mistakes I intend to make in the future. I wanted to be idealistic, but I knew it was doomed. I wanted to join the Optimists Club, but I knew they wouldn't let me. Maybe it's because I had death tattooed on my forehead at the time. That's why I wear the mask. I am a non-violent hypocrite. You believe me, don't you? Or do you want a little trouble? I'm the wrong hero, and I say, business is the religion of selfishness. Religion is frozen morality. And the nice thing about being in jail is, your parents always know where you are. Politics are sports for people who are too fat to run. There's nothing new under the sun. It's all old and burned, and somebody's trying to sell it at a flea market somewhere and asking far too much. And I think they should replace the war on poverty with the war on poetry. And they should get rid of poetry readings and have poverty readings. That wouldn't be much of a change either. And also, I'm thinking of opening up a line of heartless shelters. It's where heartless people go to hide from the homeless. Now, what do you think about that? Well, looks like we have about 300 jillion% more people in here than there were here just about 2 minutes ago. Yeah, because after all, what is 0 and 3? It's like, you can't, you know, if you say 0 is like 1, then 3 must be 3 times that, which is 300%. But 0 isn't 1, 1 is 1. Oh, now we're 66% down. You know, today I prepared a whole bunch of impressions of other comedians. And fortunately, there's somebody here to appreciate them now. Paula Poundstone, for example. Are you familiar with Paula Poundstone? Paula Poundstone? She, like, it's like, my mother says, marry a doctor. My mother says, a human bite is worse than a dog bite. And I say to her, Mom, I don't eat my own shit. Oh, and there's Bob Goldthwait, you know him? He sort of makes neuroses into a high art. He was taking over from Woody Allen in that regard. Woody Allen used to go like this. He used to go, he was just so constricted, and Bobcat is sort of similar to that, except he's like, but, he's sort of like the flip side of Sam Kinison, rest his soul. Sam Kinison, he was the master of the go from low tone to shouting all of a sudden, I can't stand it, I won, poor Sam Kinison. And then there's Lenny Bruce. He always talked in this sort of really low affect, kind of heroin addict kind of drawl. And he had this really high-pitched, nasty voice sometimes, too, Sort of like, God bless you, y'all. But I love him. And Rodney Dangerfield. The big belly, the red tie, the googly eyes, the sweat. That's all you need. I saw his movie, Rover Dangerfield. It's an animated cartoon in which Rodney Dangerfield plays the lead role, does the voices, writes all the songs, the plot, everything. He sings all the songs except one. And the one song he doesn't sing, it's like, I'm looking over a four-leaved clover named Rover. God, where does this guy get his ideas? I'm telling you. And he had another one, Don't Piss on the Christmas Tree. This is a family movie, But what kind of family, The Addams Family? What? I mean, it's set in Las Vegas. The evil boyfriend of his mistress throws him in the Hoover Dam. That's going to make the kiddies, like, sit up and clap, right? And then he ends up on a farm, and his owner is attacked by wolves. And, this is great. Oh boy, the wolves are tearing his throat out. I love it, Who was this movie made for? That's what I need to know. But anyway, it went straight to video, and I saw it. And I also saw The Firm on the same night that I saw Rover Dangerfield. And so I had this weird dream called The Farm, in which all the music was played with a kazoo and a comb with a piece of toilet paper on it, It was very strange, very bizarre. Rodney Dangerfield. Bob Hope. Bob Hope, how old is he now? 9 million years old or something? And every time I see him, I can't help but thinking, where's he got the cue cards now? Over there? Nice seeing you. Today, and Bill Cosby, he's also the master of like shouting, Shouting just to make, if you can't whine or whisper, shout. That's his philosophy. He doesn't whine because he's a millionaire. He doesn't whisper because, he's a millionaire. So he shouts. It's like, I am Bill Cosby! And if you watch me on television, then why pay $5 to see me in a motion picture? Huh? Billy Crystal. I'm tempted to say Billy Crystal now, but that's an extremely poor taste. Billy Crystal. He's got the toothless 80-year-old Jewish pensioner down pat, I mean, that's his big impression of us. I bet you do a good Popeye, too. Popeye eating spinach. Meow, meow, meow. My grandfather. Meow, meow, meow. He's a great guy. Jerry Seinfeld. You know what really bugs me about Jerry Seinfeld? aside from the fact that his show is on at the same time this is on, when he tells his stand-up routine in the first 3 minutes of his show, they have this annoying bass which punctuates each of the jokes, as though this is the cutting edge of hip, you know? It's so hip that you gotta have Charlie Mingus up there doing his thing with the bass. Blow, blow, blow. Bugs me. Robin Williams. I love Robin Williams. I just wish he'd decide who he is, because like he does 300 impressions for the price of 10, you know? You ever notice that? What if I did the rest of this set like Robin Williams? Like, hi, I'm Clem Cadoodle-Hopper. I'm Clem Cadoodle-Hopper. And Don Rickles. Hey, dummy. You're getting fat. Your parents are off, starving, eating locusts in Nebraska. How do you like that, huh? I respect you. Fetch. The angry, violent, confrontative, see you later form of comedy. Well, yes. And let's see, yes, Woody Allen. Well, Michael Jackson sort of pushed him off the headlines, huh? He sent like 20 bucks to Michael Jackson. Here, this is for your defense fund. Thank you very much. Mel Brooks. We have Mel Brooks to thank for bringing the fart joke to cinema. Nobody had ever dared do it before. The guy is like cutting edge, you know? Blazing Saddles. Sandra Bernhard. You know, if outer space aliens ever attack Earth, all they need to do is show a gigantic picture of Sandra Bernhard's glistening lips, and they'll all flee in terror. And if that doesn't work, you'd have Lucille Ball going, "Hey, what is this evil alien thing that the Earthmen are afflicted with? Let's get out of here. It's destroying our molecular structure." So, we have that to thank, that we have these talented individuals to ward off aliens. Roseanne Arnold. I still call her Roseanne Barr. That's sort of how far in the past I am. Johnny Carson. He's just dying to get back into television, you know. He even did a voice for The Simpsons. I guess, you know, doing a voice for The Simpsons is what doing a voice for the Flintstones was 30 years ago. Jack Parr on the Flintstones, Johnny Carson on The Simpsons, and Conan O'Brien on Ren and Stimpy, and Chevy Chase on Beavis and Butthead. Remember Shelley Berman? No.
Yep.
You do. Great. Shelley was the best. Lenny Bruce told a story about Shelley Berman, how he was talking to this group of mafioso, and they were like all talking instead of listening, and he says to him, "Where'd you get those suits? Sicily?" You know, this is a great thing to say to like mafia henchmen. David Letterman. My biggest aspiration in life is to leave cappuccino farts on David Letterman's sofa. You like the fart stuff, don't you? That's great.
Yeah.
I could do Jack Benny for you.
It's a big top in England, Todd.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Do they call it anything special besides farting? Barbarigamy.
Whiff, whiff.
Whiff, whiff? Great.
What,
Whiff, there it is. Whiff, there it is. Jimmy Durante. Jimmy Durante has the all-time greatest heckler line, which is, "Everybody's trying to get in on the act. Yeah, I got a banana on my nose." That was the first thing I remember watching on television, is Jimmy Durante saying he has a banana up his nose. And like most 4-year-olds, I ran around going, "I got a banana on my nose, I got a banana on my nose." And the kids in the neighborhood said, "Are you retarded?" And I said, "I got a banana on my nose." It ruined me in the neighborhood. Steve Martin. Steve Martin was voted the most popular comedian of all times. And then he did Leap of Faith. And nobody ever heard from him again. Robert Klein. Very intelligent. It's a pity though. I guess he went broke. He was too smart. Stephen Wright. We don't see much of Stephen Wright anymore. Why is that?
I think he took a flight.
He took a flight from reality. he started enacting his jokes and took them a little too seriously, and now he's gone. Can you imagine a man that's so funny that the rapture takes him and he ceases to exist? You know, I want you up here in heaven to keep all my angels happy. Well, Jay Leno, his chin is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until it's just going to fill the entire bottom half of the screen. You know, the reason they have Jay Leno is that they have somewhere to put the closed captioning on the television screen, you know. They don't want to put it over his eyes, so they put it on his chin. And it works. It works. John Belushi. Poor John Belushi. He never got to star in the Joey Buttafuoco story. It's too bad. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was great, but then you get Eddie Murphy. And he's okay, but he's doing Richard Pryor stuff. And then you get Andrew Dice Clay, and he's like, yeah, Subterranean. I wrote an Andrew Dice Clay joke. My girlfriend ran off with Andrew Dice Clay, and she left a letter in the kitchen. It says, I've run off with Andrew Dice Clay, and your dinner's in the fucking toilet. And this sets in the toilet now.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, what is going to use that?
No, I went. Just picture handles.
Fascinating.
Well, I didn't tell us.
Fascinating musician.
I want to get here with
Yeah, I was out of town last night.
Okay, I guess this is time for you guys out there to like go to the bathroom because we have this this quiet, introspective little chat here. You know, I'll be done in a few minutes. And,
Take your time.
oh, thanks. But you know, your conversation is so fascinating to me. It's like
You want to
it's
join
like,
us?
oh yeah, hey, how you guys doing anyway? I like that.
It's like this, you know.
I like that purple. You know, I know some kings that wear purple like that.
You know, King, huh?
Yeah, king.
King Batul.
I'm Italian, you know, and I'm kind of dark, and people give me purple stuff to wear as though it enhances my skin tone.
I'm Mongolian.
I'm Mongolian. Are you from Ulaanbaatar? Well, Steve Allen's kind of gentle humor is passing from the scene like, no, I drove up here the other day, and it was like milk. You ever drive through milk and you know what I mean? You know, the humor of, I don't understand what you just said, so let me make a big joke about it.
But no,
I think it's time for this to come down. I know it's not supposed to come down until December 6th.
well, I don't care nothing about it.
No, this January 6th. Ho, ho, ho! Ho, 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 ho! Hi, I'm the ghost of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle of Christmas. I don't know if there'll ever be a Christmas again. Does Christmas exist simultaneously with all other days of the year, or does it not exist at all? Rowan and Martin's Laughing. Have you had a chance to watch that recently? You know what it is? It's like drunks pretending to be hippies. That's what it is. And the Smothers Brothers. It's like extremely uptight wasps pretending to be funny. And Bob Newhart, I saw him in Cold Turkey. Ooh, did you see Cold Turkey?
Yeah.
What was the big deal about Cold Turkey? What a lousy movie. I mean, it's boring. There's no laughs, you know? It's basically just about a bunch of people trying to stop smoking. And it's like 90 minutes of just, claptrap. Look. Yeah, Bob Newhart, Carol Burnett, and Jimmy Walker. You know, it's sort of like the three horsemen of the 70s comedy apocalypse. And then you got Sinbad and Paul Rodriguez.
Not the sailor, huh?
Not the sailor. And Guido Sarducci, he's the fourth one. I forgot about him. Oh, and you got the Marx Brothers, who are great, even though S.J. Perelman wrote their best material. And the Three Stooges, who are still popular. Even though, like, I can't see. Why? I got my eyes closed.
Yeah.
It's as old as vaudeville. W.C. Fields, alcoholic humor. Perfectly appropriate for New Year's Day. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. I can do a reggae song for you. It's called Rub-a-Dub-Dub. Rub-rub-a-rub-a-rub-dub-dub. Three men sitting in a tub. What are they doing in the tub? Don't ask. Well, see, as a pig, you've come in just as I'm deciding to leave, but perhaps then again you have something to be thankful for. Because, you know, I don't like people like Rush Limbaugh and Howard Stern and H. Ross Perot. I mean, H. Ross Perot is funny, you know, he's got some good jokes, but the other guys, you know, yeah. I like Mark Twain and H.L. Mencken and that guy that did the rope tricks, Rogers something or other, and James Thurber and S.J. Perelman, and all we have today is Dave Barry. Dave Barry. Fart jokes. Well, I'd like to end this on a spectacular finale, but I can't think of anything to do with what is this anyway? The world's biggest donut. Look, the policemen are coming for us. Give them this. You know, gee, I don't know. Hi. Oh wait, I know. Cavemen invented the wheel. It's the Christmas wheel. I know. The Christmas Olympics. Throw the discus. Let's see. Step into Christmas world. Wait, I'm turning into a snowman. No, let me out of here. Let's see. Wow! They're trying to make a baby out of me! Let's see. Wow, that's a big pimple. What are you going to do about it? Hi, I'm General Merchandise. Welcoming you to our after Christmas sale. Let's see. Well, I think I better get out of here while I'm still ahead. But wait, I know. It's King Kong at the Thai restaurant. These are the world's biggest radishes. Well, I'm the wrong hero, and
You made it through the 93, hero.
I made it through 1993, and now I'm ready for 1994, which is actually 1949 backwards. And anyway, I'm the wrong hero, and you are beginning to annoy me. Because you make me nervous. Because you're evil. 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 I'm the wrong hero. This is my one-man show, and when the one man shows up, I'll let you know. During this show, I would like you also to know that there will be no whispering, talking, chewing gum, eating, drinking, or breathing. However, you are free to smoke, and in order to keep your attention, I am offering you this free pack of Camel Lights.
Why, thank you.
Because I am afraid for your health if I were to give you the straights. Hello, how are? Good to see. Nice weather. We're. I'm under time constraints, so I can't do the usual lengthy opening remarks. I'm the wrong hero, and I'm glad Christmas is over because of that ghastly song, Frosty the Snowman, with his eyes made out of coal. Coal? Why can't they be made out of natural gas, huh? That would be a really nice image. Frosty the Snowman with two eyes made of natural gas. Well, it's a new year, and I guess it's appropriate to talk about the old year, so I won't. Except to mention that everybody was wondering who put the syringes in the Diet Pepsi, and I think I figured it out. It was Ray Charles. He's a former junkie, he's blind, and he has the keys to the Diet Pepsi warehouse. Case closed, all right? It was Ray Charles. And when he sings, "You got the right one, baby," it's like, "You got the right one, baby." You know? So, just so you know. They're offering a program in Texas to turn in your guns for $100. Well, I'm going to turn in my arsenal for $1,000 and use it to buy 15 pounds of dynamite with a 2-inch fuse. You know, there's all this talk about how the government conducted experiments on people utilizing radiation. Well, I just want people to know that I flush my toilet with the bath water, not to save water, but because my bath water is radioactive. Because I was in one of those experiments, and I use my slop jar for a nightlight now. What about this Vladimir Zhirinovsky guy? Why can't the Russians elect people with normal, decent, everyday, average names like Smith or Brown or Jones or Wine or Hansen or DiMenno for that matter, although that's kind of weird. No, they get all these people like Khrushchev, people whose names sound like you're clearing your throat, you know, 15 years of accumulated phlegm, and Gorbachev. And well, Stalin, but he was an exception. That wasn't his real name anyway. That was his stage name. His real name was something unpronounceable, like Yosef Yaroslavsky. And then we got this Zhirinovsky guy. Zhirinovsky, a guy so far right that even the Germans are leery about having him in their country, you know. Well, we would have you, but we're a little concerned about some of those crazy far-right ideas of yours that you have, so I don't think we are, in fact, going to have you. Welcome, come in, pull up a chair, sit down, set a spell. You all come back now here, take your shoes off. Well, no, leave them on, actually. I don't have my nose plugs in. Sorry. Hey, you know about Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton. He's been an overachiever ever since the age of 10. Bill Clinton had the prize-winning hog at the Arkansas State Fair, and they made him put it back in his pants. You know, people say a lot of bad things about Bill Clinton. They say he waffles, he equivocates, he can't make up his mind, his wife runs the show. Well, I can say, one nice thing about Bill Clinton, he's a healthy eater. You can probably eat one of these in 2 bites, you know. Oh, wow. You know, okay, let's solve Bosnia. He's a grown boy. He needs his fuel. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't expect a man to run the world on a diet of little tea cakes and cucumber sandwiches. No, he's got to have a big steak. 23 pounds. The cow's still mooing. Like, I'm helping agricultural subsidies by eating this raw cow. Well, you know, I figured out something about liberals and conservatives. It's my sad duty to report. Liberals, or as they like to say down south, liberals, and they wash your mouth out if you're a kid. You said the L word. Liberals lie and frown. Conservatives smile and kill. So, I mean, you know, take your pick. Okay? And, you know, I'm a radical centrist, you know. I mean, I'm so far out, I'm in. I'm the wrong hero, by the way. I represent the big anger, but I despise you too much to talk about it, so I won't. Except to say this: there's nothing hypocritical about my hatred for democracy. And I hope you all agree. You know, they say America is a melting pot. That's going to go into my one-man Rush Limbaugh show called The Way Things Ain't. Look for it. There's one thing about America. They say America is a melting pot. Well, if America is a melting pot, how come it's so cold in here? Of course, I turned up the heat. That furniture burns nicely off and back. And John here is burning some carcinogenic substances. Do not inhale. See a doctor at once if you should accidentally do so. I hope none of you are practicing Roman Catholics. You should be real Roman Catholics. You know what I mean? Don't just practice. You know, Necco wafers, hocus pocus. You know, well, we used to, I mean, I hate to say this, but when we were kids, we used to play a game. It was called, we used to eat the host, and we played a game that was called Swallow the Leader.
Yeah.
And Jeff here used to be in a rock band or a thrash band, or I don't know what the hell it was actually. Are you still in that band? Meltdown? Yes? Yes or no? We do studio projects. Ooh. Well, the one thing about thrash songs, you can instantly write a thrash song just by taking any common everyday warning and speeding it up to 160 cycles per minute, you know? Like, Sergeant General's warning! Quitting smoking now! Greatly risk serious risk to health! You know, or, please extinguish smoking materials before on board! Cross at the green, not in between! Ha, ha. And another thing is, you ever hear that Yardbirds song, Over, Under, Sideways, Down? And you know, they have this boring, pointless guitar solo. They jazz it up, they go, hey! Well, it occurs to me you can jazz up any song by saying, hey. Any stupid, boring, happy birthday to you. Hey! You know, or when the red rubber goes bob, bob, bobbing along, hey, along, or you know, anything at all. I'm trying to think of even more. T for two, hey, and two for T, ho! Like, no, it's ha, 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 staying alive, hey, staying alive. And you know, I mean, you just get out of, you can have a whole song with nothing but hey in it, and a few like indecipherable lyrics every now and then, like, hey, a thrash song, hey, 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 hey. So, I don't know. People say that a dog is your best friend. And you know, I agree with them. A dog's my best friend. Yeah. All of my best friends roll around in their own filth. All of my best friends eat their own feces. All of my best friends drink from the toilet bowl. All of my best friends piss in the corner. All of my best friends vomit kibbles and bits onto the linoleum. All of my best friends fuck in the streets. And most of all, every single last one of my best friends begs for treats with his genitalia exposed. That's what I like about dogs. You can tell that with an act like mine, I don't really get to meet very many women, you know? I mean, you know, so I've been working on pickup lines really, really hard, you know? I'm trying to find the perfect pickup line. And I think sort of go with reverse psychology, like if it's a really bad pickup line, they might feel sorry for me. You know, he's so pathetic. If I don't go out with him, he'll never breed. You know, like pickup lines. Like, I think Dr. Kevorkian has a lot of good ideas. Don't you? Or my mother doesn't understand me. Or the mouthwash rant. I don't believe in mouthwash. Mouthwash kills sick germs. Who wants a mouthful of healthy germs anyway? Or the doctor says if I have one more drink, it'll kill me. Bottoms up. Oh, my heart. This is sick humor. I'm sorry. But, you know, it's because you get disgusted after a while doing all this stuff with my kid, my mother-in-law, my car. I'll do that stuff, but, you know, get sick of it. In fact, you get sick of working dingy nightclubs full of sweaty, fat, old drunks. It's nice to talk to some cool, young drunks for a change. I went to my old high school reunion, my reunion, obviously, and I went to see where I had carved my initials years ago. But the gym coach was wearing a toupee. I'm the wrong hero, and in all seriousness now, I have a message for the children. Kids, stay in school. We don't want you around here. I have another message for the children. For the generations yet unborn, kids, please give me money. You don't need it. Your parents will give you more. I need it. I don't have a job, unless you count this. Did any folks here ever see a picture of the the Housing and Urban Environment Secretary, Henry Cisneros? I don't suppose you've ever seen a picture of this guy, but he looks an awful lot like Gomer Pyle with Vitalis. right down to the grin, you know. Like, you expect him to say something like, "Golly, President Clinton, how are we going to build that low-cost housing? The military is gobbling up all of our annual expenditures." But no, actually, I suppose, from what I read, he's a very good man, and even though he cheated on his wife, he had an ulterior motive. It was the strain caused by the fact that his son was in the hospital with a congenital heart defect. This is all serious, too. That's why, by the way, this is the inside dope, the inside poop, the inside skinny, the inside some other obnoxious refrain that has to do with inside knowledge. The reason he's Secretary of Housing and Urban Development instead of taking Lloyd Benson's Senate slot is because of his son being in the hospital and because of that affair he had and the fact that it would cost $5 million for him to run for Senate. So he took the nice easy slot, which he always really wanted anyway, and even if he's second banana to Bill Clinton, well, that's the price he has to pay, and he's a young man, he's only 44. So in the year 2012, vote President Cisneros, okay? I mean, the Mexicans are going to be overjoyed when this happens, you know. Cisneros, we'll vote for him. They'll all come running across the border. Hey, register me up right now. Taco Bell, dong, you know. So, oh, and Judge Ginsburg. I don't want to say anything mean about Judge Ginsburg, but I saw a picture of her, and I thought the caption should have read something like, "You killed my sister, the Wicked Witch of the East. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too." I didn't quite do that right. I used to wow the kids when I was like 12 years old with the exactitude of my Wicked Witch of the West impression. Like, "And your little dog, too." Can't do it, though. I got too much fun built up. And now we got the three most important and prominent individuals of 1993. Rush Limbaugh, for drunks. And that's how they could package them. Rush Limbaugh, for drunks. You know, and ideology for drunks. Smear it on you and you stink like beer and you have a big mouth. And you have Howard Stern. Ideology for potheads. Smear it on and you have long hair and a viewpoint that went out with the Weather Underground. Oh, and Jerry Seinfeld, author of The Nothing Book. Jerry Seinfeld, smear it on and you reek of Prozac and your eyes are rolling around inside of your head. I'm just mad at him because his show's on at the same time mine is. His show reaches 15 million people, mine reaches 15 people. So, you know, you can't blame me. Well, you've all been very appreciative campers so far. Dan Quayle's comment to the Samoans. You are all happy campers. Happy campers you have been, happy campers you will be. It's almost too late now to talk about Dan Quayle. But I'd like you to join the Wrong Heroes Club. And you only have to do 4 things to be in the Wrong Heroes Club. You must be neat but filthy. You must be angry but polite. And the model here is Mr. Mooney on the Lucy Show. Like, "Mrs. Carmichael!" Not, "Oh, you fucking bimbo, I'll kill you, I'm ruined!" But no, it's always, "Mrs. Carmichael!" You know, I mean, one of these days you expect him to plop over from a pulmonary embolism from, like, getting his face all red like that. You know, he died of dyspepsia. You have to protect the weak, but sell them stuff to be in the Wrong Heroes Club. And finally, most important lesson, stop that whispering, kitty. To be in the Wrong Heroes Club, you must be kind to animals and eat them. Okay? And now here's my message. Goo! I'm trying to appeal to a younger crowd. God! Look at my screaming face. Stop having fun. Change my diaper. I'm a manly man. Can't you tell? See the manly cut of my jib? Yes, I'm a manly man, but my teeth are sensitive. So I gave them a dozen roses and I took them out to dinner. But the thorns were hard to chew. I'd like to tell you a little story that I wrote on a computer because it told me to. And it goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a cool computer that told the puny humans what to do, and they obeyed, and they all lived happily ever after. The end. for humanity. Long live the computer. I know you guys don't watch television. You're far too cerebral to let yourself be hypnotized by a flickering cathode ray tube. And same is probably true of you. Thank you for coming, by the way. I don't want you to think that I don't appreciate your presence here, even though I don't, because I do, even though I'm obliged to say that I don't. Because if I were obliged to say I do, then I'd be all the more obliged to say that I don't. But anyway, they have this ad on television which really bugs me, and it's like, this pompous ass comes on and says, pound for pound, plums have more vitamins than other fruits. I mean, think about it for a minute. You know, and then, no, it actually says pound for pound, prunes have more vitamins than other fruits. That's what really gets me. If it were plums, it would be one thing. Prunes have more vitamins than other fruits. Idiots, pound for pound, dried vitamins have more vitamins than other vitamins. Did you ever think of this, huh? Pemmican has more vitamins than beef. Ever think of that, huh? Well, maybe I'm just like a little too sensitive to these things. I said to stop that whispering. You want me to get my ruler?
We were discussing pelican.
Pelican? Well, geez, how about owl pellets and genocide? I mean, you want to get into the American Indian thing. I'm at my best when I'm spontaneous. That's why I will read the remainder of my set of my cue cards.
What page are you on?
Never mind. If I told you, you wouldn't stay for the rest of it. You know, I think men and women have their own separate mantras. They are equal in all their respects, except of course for their abilities respectively to bear birth and donate to sperm banks. But they have separate mantras, and that's what differentiates them. And the woman's mantra is, there, there. And the man's mantra is, me against the world! Me, weighing 217 pounds, dressed in blue tights! The world weighing 15 billion pounds, dressed in blue tights, for the most part, with some inconveniencing land masses here.
Your land masses are up to 217.
Yeah. I'm tempted to say that all of that weight goes into my dick when I fuck, but I won't because it's a mixed crowd. You know, I don't understand all this fuss about Jurassic Park because I came out with this concept years ago. It was, your arms are too short to box with God, starring Tyrannosaurus Rex. I've always been fascinated by the shortness of Tyrannosaurus Rex's arms, as you might have guessed. Man, how did that fucker eat walnuts anyway? What do you do? You know, so, I'd like to share with you an ancient traditional wrong hero motto. If it rains while the sun is shining, a policeman is beating his wife. So remember that, and point it out to your grandchildren and to your grandchildren's children. Because I'm sure we're all going to live to be 140 years old, and we're going to be disembodied brains floating in saline fluid, still giving wise advice from the 20th century to the 22nd century people. You know, like, don't drive when it's icy out, but great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Nobody drives everywhere. Teleportation was invented in 2150. Well, take my advice nonetheless. You know, little nerve filaments fill in for the quavery and of the great-grand familiar past. So, I knew a lawyer who was so lazy, he picked his own pocket. That's just a whimsical aside. It has nothing to do with the remainder of the set, so ignore it at your peril. I'd like to give you this word for placebo light. Do ordinary placebos make you feel heavy, sluggish? Try placebo light. Only half the fillers and non-drug ingredients and inert ingredients of regular placebos. Placebo light costs twice as much, does less than nothing. Placebo light. So have any of you been keyed into the big controversy that people under 25 years old are creating about television monitors in tea stops? They watch MTV 18 hours a day, but they don't want television monitors in tea stops. Well, you know, I kind of agree with them. I think that the tea should first install clocks that keep the correct time, and then they can start working on television monitors. You know, maybe they can even work their way up to teleportation monitors. after a while. Why take the tea at all? Why not just watch the tea channel? You know, it would be something like, "Brrr, kisses sweeter than brrr," you know. Call me old-fashioned, but I would never let my wife work more than 2 jobs. Because I believe a woman's place is in the home, running her own business, while I stay in bed all day, eating bonbons, and croutons, and party mix. It's not a party without party mix. After sex, I'm sorry this subject is distasteful to you guys up here, but after sex, I used to use my condom as a whirlybird. And my girl, back when I still had sex, and my girlfriend said, "You're such a clown in bed." And I said, "Is it the little red nose or the big shoes that tipped you over?" Because you see, I have a long memory. Thought I was going to say member, huh? Hey, did you hear about the hippie dad? He was going to teach his son a lesson he'd never remember. And he did, or at least he thinks he did. I'm the wrong hero, and I'm applying for legal recognition as an Indian tribe. I'm going to open up a roulette wheel on my belly button. Wheel of lint! You win 1 hair. Where did it come from? Don't ask.
Hero, you're only on page 6 of 18.
Well, oh no, Smack! Well, I'm not going to get to do all of it, obviously. Thanks a lot. Now the crowd's leaving. I'm so happy that you gave me that felicitous reminder. See you guys later. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Besides, this was just the filler. Now I'm getting to the good stuff. Don't touch that camera. Whatever you do. Haven't you guys done enough damage? I guess they were wondering when the real entertainment would start. We're going to torture a Shetland pony after the show. Stick around.
Oh, shit.
Maybe it was my tone of voice. Why do you feel obliged to sabotage me? Do you know why garbage men make so much noise at 4 in the morning? I have the answer to this and other questions.
Why?
Well, if they knew how to keep quiet, they wouldn't be garbage men now, would they? And also, what can you do to them? They're garbage men! What are you gonna do to them? I sentence you to pick up dirty diapers as punishment for making too much noise. Oh, gee, that's pretty good. Be around kids, not have to handle coffee grounds. Hey, solid, I'm good for that. I sentence you to the electric chair. Oh, great, it's nice and warm. Anything's better than getting up at 4 in the morning and schlepping other people's trash in sub-zero weather. Well, I don't know if I'll ever have children because children make me nervous. Because they always want your attention. And you know, they're always saying, "Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me." And my response to that would be, "No, look at me. I am Centaur!" So, I don't know if I'd make a great father. Somebody played a great April Fool's joke on me. They told me I had talent. Now here's where I get to the serious part of my show. I believe that college, now listen carefully, college is like a monastery, but with sex and drugs. For that matter, a monastery is like a hobo jungle, except monks are fat and they shave. And for that matter, a hobo jungle is like grade school, except instead of eating mulligan stew in grade school, they get pizza. And to bring it all back home, a grade school is like college, except in grade school, you use a ruler to measure things, and in college, the ruling class measures you by the things that you do. I think that the Warner Brothers characters, the famous, familiar cartoon characters, I think they're politically incorrect. I think they should be replaced right away with politically correct cartoon characters like Insect Citizen Bunny and Mentally Incapacitated Duck or Glandularly Challenged Pig. Whew. I was hoping you'd bring your girlfriend here, Jeff, if you still have her, because I wanted her to hear this thing here about the difference between men and women. If a man sees a fly in the room and he's hungry, you know, but if a woman sees a fly, you know, women are so tender-hearted. You know, they say, oh, don't kill the baby seals, and oh, look at those poor starving children with the googly eyes. But when they see a fly in the room, their response is, kill it, kill it, kill it, oh, kill it. You know, so I just can't figure that out. And a guy leaves a wet towel in the bed, you know, so what? Sleeps on it. You know, well, you know, at least I can get rid of my chafing now. But a woman sees a wet towel in the bed, and it's like, Hiroshima, Auschwitz, Bhopal, and I left a wet towel on the bed. I don't know about relationships. How many times have I told you not to talk during my sex? Now I must punish you in a cruel and unusual fashion by ignoring you. That's cruel and unusual. I don't know if I can endure relationships. The put-downs, the interruptions, the sarcasm, the excuses, the denying of responsibility, changing the subject during an argument. And that's the fun part. I don't want to get into the nasty stuff. And two, Brute, a beautiful woman walks into the room, and all eyes turn towards her, and people say, wow. I walk into the room, and all eyes turn towards me, and people say, security, security, come to the front desk at once. I think the best food to use during sexual intercourse is super glue. Not that that's food, not that I have sex. Attention, please come to the dating bar. Mindless apes in a savanna looking for a female inhibitory forebrain to drop out of the sky on your empty skulls. Please come to the dating bar at once. I am a man. I like to talk about tools. And apes love to compare the size of the sticks they use to grub for termites in rotten logs. I like to talk about the first car I ever owned. The first car I ever owned is the car I own now. Okay. So a shopping cart is not a convertible. So sue me. No, actually, you know what the best advice I ever got was? Go back to driving a truck. Of course, the hell of it is, I don't own a truck. But I'm hell on wheels when I push my shopping cart around. Did it ever occur to you that Chuck E. Cheese is a tavern for children? Attention, kids! Drink lots of floating fluids that are bad for you, and eat lots of greasy food that's going to give you arteriosclerosis, just like grown-ups do. Come to Chuck E. Cheese. I don't drink. Drinking is slow suicide, and I'm in a big hurry, as you can tell. But when I did used to drink, I used to buy the brand of vodka with a death's head on it. And it didn't have a brand name. It had a generic label which read, alcohol in its cheap drinkable form, $2.99 a gallon. Caution, do not use around open flame, that sort of thing. Oh, and to ensure consumer satisfaction, strain this vodka through a loaf of bread before consuming. You know what my most embarrassing moment was? When I was being crucified and they offered me a wine-soaked sponge, and I had to tell them that I was in Alcoholics Anonymous. I just had my vacation. The best part about your vacation is getting to complain about the stuff other than your job, you know? So that's why I like it. All right, I think I'm gonna whiz through the remainder of this. My favorite exercise is walking over people who get in my way. And if I could have another superpower, I think I would like it to be the ability to make money, which I am sorely lacking in. The nicest thing anyone ever said to me was, "You have a knack for making people vicious." The truest thing, too. And the best job I ever had was throwing gasoline onto fires. It wasn't really a job, it was more like a hobby. And I have the scorched eyebrows to prove it. I'd like to talk about the Hyundai Excel a little bit. I'm going to do an ad for the Hyundai Excel. The Hyundai Excel, a car only North Korea could love. The Hyundai Excel, what does it excel in? It excels in an engine that overheats so badly that you have to put the blower on up to 5 and have your eyeballs blown into the back of your head while you're driving it. That's what it excels at. It excels at having a squealing fan belt. It excels at sucking down oil like a starved pig. It excels at all these things and more. I don't need a car. That's what your motto is going to be when you buy the Hyundai Excel. The train's looking better every day. That's our motto over at Hyundai. Hyundai, it means, in Spanish, it's called no va, won't start. But of course, you know that I believe that the car is a combination robot slave, petting zoo, and whorehouse on wheels. Which is actually why most of us do need it. The only time I've ever had somebody try to pick me up was when I was driving this Malibu. You know, it was like, and you know, she was very polite and a very mannered young lady. She said, "If you give me a ride to Roxbury, I'll give you a blowjob." So I had to turn her down, though. You know, I mean, I can kick myself now because in a Hyundai, the only offers you ever get is, "Hey, get out of my way or I'll sew your ass off!"
Wait a minute, wrong here, you have a Hyundai?
I have a Hyundai.
Where did you get a Hyundai?
Well, being the wrong hero, I had to get the one car more calculated than a Volkswagen diesel rabbit to be the cause of humor. And so, and of course they don't make, what was that car that you bought, the 70s car that...
Oh, the Charger.
No, not the Charger, the one before that.
Oh, the Nova.
The Nova,
Yeah.
Right. I couldn't get the car that it was affectionately nicknamed unsafe at any speed, the Corvair, so I had to go for the Hyundai, you know. I mean, the whole thing looks like it's made of plastic or something. It sort of looks like an overgrown kid's toy that they'd sell at Neiman Marcus catalogs, you know. And now, the Hyundai, life size, buy 2, 1 for spare parts when the other one breaks down after 20,000 miles. Yes. So, you know how much it's worth?
No.
It's an 87. It's worth $550. That's what the assessable tax on it is. You know, like even the tax boys, they're known for like squeezing every single drop out of a consumer. Oh, the poor fucking guy. Let's give him a break, you know? It's sort of, man, they have all these ads on Hyundai trying to counteract their bad image. And the ads are sort of like, other cars are like being an alcoholic, but the Hyundai is like being somebody who no longer drinks alcohol. Or other cars are for corporate fat cats, but the Hyundai is for people who belong to law firms that are famous for being cheap, you know? So, I mean, their ad psychology is kind of way out there. Like, it's sort of like South Korean ad psychology, just like South Korean cartoons. It works, but only fitfully. And the message that comes out of the mouth isn't always the same as the movements that come from the head. You know, so, You know, I don't know.
Did you get a good deal on the Hyundai?
I got a great deal. Because the Hyundai is the kind of car where if you pay for it with a down payment and you tell them how much repairs it had to have, they say, forget the rest of the money, just keep it. We're glad to get it out of our driveway, which is literally what happened. You know? You are going to have that carburetor replaced, are you? Oh no, I think it runs better without one, actually. You know, so I'd like to talk about the biggest mistake I ever made. I think the biggest mistake I ever made was agreeing to do this show. I had 100% of the people here, and now I'm down to 20%. But that's better than like last week when there was 0%, so, you know, that's good. And by the way, this show goes on every week at the Middle East Cafe from 1 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon, but don't come at exactly 1 o'clock like some people did and expect me to have everything ready. Make it more like 1:15, but since the stage clock is 15 minutes fast, that's actually 1 o'clock, so maybe you should come at 1:30, except it's only 15 minutes for me to set up, so maybe you should really come at 1:45, and the stage clock will say 1:30, but if you come at 1:45, wait, if you come at 2 o'clock, it'll really be 1:45, and you'll know that I won't be allowed to talk for any more than 45 minutes, even though the show is supposed to run till 3. I've got to be out of here at 2:30 so the reggae jam can set up, except they're not coming in today because there's a blizzard. But I came in, because I like doing shows to empty rooms that are as cold as a subarctic lumber village. I enjoy it, and that's why I'm going to move to the Northwest Territory and tell blubber jokes to Eskimos for the rest of my natural career, which will be probably another 3 days at the rate things are going. I'd like to have dinner with historical figures. What historical figure would you like to have dinner with?
Wilhelm Reich.
Wilhelm Reich. Here, step into my isolation booth while I prepare the meal. I'd like to have dinner with Jesus, because he could turn a Twinkie into a 120-course banquet. Of course, it would all taste like a Twinkie, but you know, it's better than having it taste like loaves and fishes. Or maybe I'd like to have dinner with Einstein, because he's dead, and I'd get all the food. But no, this is historical figures. What were you going to say?
I was going to say Plotinus.
Plotinus? Now, what's he famous for?
Pre-Socratic philosopher.
He's not even as famous as Cicero. At least Cicero has Porky Pig's nephew named after him. But it's Plotinus. Plotinus has a kind of flatbread named after him. You know? So that's Platina. They don't even get the spelling right. I'm sure he'd enjoy that. That must have been his vision of hell, you know? Or, you know, that's people's vision of hell. Historical figures' vision of hell is having a bad biopic made about their lives 200 years later, in which all the facts are wrong. That's Harry Houdini's hell, watching the biography of his life on film, having him die in the Chinese water torture, when in fact he died of appendicitis. You know, Hollywood really is a hell factory, but I'm not going to get into that. I think I'd like to have dinner with Heisenberg. There'd be a certain uncertainty principle about it.
Hey.
Did I turn the oven on, or did I turn it off?
Hey, speaking of Heisenberg, where's Steve Iskowitz?
Paging Steve Iskowitz. Paging chocolate oxygen and the myth of objectivity. I don't think he's in the building, or else he would have come running with his out-of-tune guitar and his minuscule amplifier and his inability to sing and play guitar at the same time. But he's a lovely guy, and I wish my friend Steve Iskowitz could be here now, because then there'd be 2 people in the audience instead of 1. Because I'd like to tell you something. What do jazz musicians, travel agents, and hairdressers have in common?
I don't know.
They all have a bigger following than me. In fact, Zeno, the Greek philosopher, has a bigger following than me, and he's been dead for 3,000 years. If you put up posters that said, Zeno, live, I mean, at least 3 people would show up.
Can I say one thing?
Say one thing and that's it.
When all the Jews go out to dine, they likes to have some Jeffrey wine.
That was the sensitive, introspective Jeffrey Wine segment of the Wrong Heroes presentation. Stupefaction guaranteed. You know, I'm going to get out of the club scene. Mostly because they can't stand me, but also because the club scene is a multi-tiered ritual of communal self-destruction. But I'm still going to get out of it, in spite of the good qualities. What is it about mothers, you know? Like I was saying earlier about the disembodied brain floating in saline. Mothers, for the next 50, 100 years, are going to still be afraid of the same things. Playboy magazine, sharp sticks, pneumonia, dirty underwear, and bad crowds. Don't they realize that all of these things are little boys' favorites? What little boy hasn't whiled away a Saturday afternoon peeking at clandestine copies of Playboy and threatening other people with sharp sticks in the process? You know? So, you know what gets me, really bugs me, is tourists. Tourists, they think they have a license to act dumb. Have you ever noticed this? Of course you haven't. You're totally and utterly unobservant, or else you wouldn't be wasting your time here. But you nod in agreement. Thanks. Some pal. God. Well, so, you know, ordinarily, if I were using a tape recorder to record this, it would have turned off about 5 minutes ago. So, just rest assured in that knowledge. But, I would have had to stop the show. But videotape goes for 2 hours. Don't worry. I'm not going to do 2 hours, because I did last week, too. But, anyway, tourists, you know, you walk up to them, you ask them a question like, what time is it? And they say, I don't know. I'm not from around here. Literally, and what? I agree, I quite agree.
Yeah, well, you know,
When people ask me what time it is, I like to hand them a wet one. Well, okay, let's jazz things up a little bit. How's about the ray gun? I am not trying to make you into my earth slave. I am not trying to make you into my earth slave. Yeah?
well, I have one more piece I'd be willing to favor you.
Well, come on up. And now, Jeffrey Wine, doing his best to disrupt the continuity of the show. Okay, Bartleby Scrivener, if you prefer a mic stand, you shall have it.
I like to get some liver. If I can't get no liver, I like to get some more. You don't got no liver? What do you mean? I really want to have the liver. Can I get some liver? Please, I'd really like to have the liver. Okay, if I can't get the liver, I'll take the meatloaf. I'll take some meatloaf if I can get it. But you can't give me no meatloaf. I really want the liver. Ding dong bell, pussy's in the well. My brother almost drowned. One time, I was walking into a bar and I saw an old woman, and she goes, if I have one more drink, I'm going to start to feel mine. And the woman sitting next to her says, if I have one more drink, anybody can feel mine. So I bought her a drink. Then I took her home. The next day, I was walking down the street, and I walked up to the fish man. And I says to him, oh, Mr. Fishman, how much is your crabs? And he says, $3 a piece. And I says to him, brother, shake hands with a millionaire. So you're not the only one that can listen to 1948 race records and tell dialect jokes. I too can do so. Remember, this is in the nature not of a racist mockery, but an affectionate tribute. Because I think racism is bad. I think class warfare is what we should be concentrating on for the next several hundred years. Racism is old, you know. Anyway, I'd like to do this ad for Junkie Gum. Like to smoke crack at work, but the boss won't let you? Try Junkie Gum. Because with the working of your jaws, employers can see that you are a junkie. Only with Junkie Gum. You ever see those people with ask me about my grandchildren on their bumper stickers? Whenever I see an old man, and here's a rule for you when you're driving, beware of people wearing hats. Baseball caps are okay, but if they're wearing hats of any kind, beware.
that means that they're not paying attention. And this has been proven to me time and time again. Every single time I've almost gotten into an accident, it's been because some old guy wearing a gray fedora with a fishing fly stuck in the hat brim is like going 45 in the passing lane, and he has a sticker on his car that says, "Ask me about my grandchildren." So I like to run that old man off the road because my car has a sticker on it that says, "It's not your grandchildren who are endangering my life, it's you I want to ask about." Isn't it funny how nobody has a sticker on their car that says, "Ask me about my brother-in-law"? Because, you know, grandchildren are cute, but what's a brother-in-law? A brother-in-law is simply a person whose whole job is to say to you, "You touch my sister, and I'll kill you! I'll kill you, I swear I'll kill you!" Oh, you're married? Well, that's okay then. Touch her all you want. Hell with her. I'm the wrong hero. I went from 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. And now I'm 97 years old. I feel 97. You know what my mother gave me for Christmas?
What?
A pony. A pony of Rolling Rock beer in the 7-ounce bottle. You know, my mother had to be a mother and father both to me, because my dad was a transvestite. He was a police sergeant who was into macrame. You heard this one before?
Yes.
Whenever they see you reading a book in my old hometown, you know, for that matter, whenever you speak in coherent sentences and use words of more than 2 syllables, you know, they think you're putting on airs. And especially when they see you reading a book, they say, "Why don't you read a book that'll teach you how to make some money, huh? Now we can get out of this shithole and move to Florida and get shot at by semi-automatic weapons, by people with Mickey Mouse hats." So, all right. Here's another big dichotomy between males and females. It's like males only really have 2 faces. If you're not
What did you say? How a dyke ought to be?
a dichotomy by the short and curlies. Yes.
Hey, a dyke economy by the...
I have a no fixed address. She's a tour. Yeah, there's like
I ripped off, I stole this woman's wallet, and then the dyke economy.
you rip at these pants, Eumenides. Yeah, well, men have 2 faces, thug or sissy. If you're not, "Get out of my way, run!" You're, "Excuse me, please, but would you mind removing your head so I can see through it?" And a woman also has 2 faces, either cow or black widow. You know, it's either, "Oh, after my 15th child, I gained 200 pounds," or it's, "I married my 5th husband and killed him in his sleep for his inheritance." You know, I mean, that's the popular impression that people have of men and women.
I'm starting to fade, man.
Starting to fade. Well, stand up and walk around. Get some oxygen circulating. That's the way. I'll turn the heat down. How's that? Don't go yet, because you know, I'm almost done. I'll tell you what. You know what I do? Why don't you get up here on stage? And you can, what you can do is, you can do sign language in back of me and interpret my comments. I think that would be good for our hearing impaired friends. I learned sign language. That's so I could bark orders at deaf people. So maybe you should get a little further back, because, yeah. All right, there you go. Yeah, up there, that's it. That's it. I take water from a mountain stream and sell it as tap water. I think I'm bucking a trend. There's lots of echo on that. Yes. Wolves eat their prey before it's dead. The IRS waits until April 15th. Hey, where's the hand gestures? Come on, be an honorary Italian. They have this thing in California called Operation Grow Hair. It's like to get skinheads to stop being skinheads. Well, I decided to take a more radical step to get rid of skinheads. I infiltrated the skinheads, but I gave myself away because I left hair on the soap. I had a poster of Sinead O'Connor in my bedroom. That really just sort of gave the whole thing away. So, and now I would like to enact for you that famous Sophocles trilogy, the Oedipus cycle, starring and produced by the Hanna-Barbera characters. The Yogi cycle. Yogi Rex. Hey, boo-boo, I think I'll kill my father and have sexual intercourse with my mother. I don't think the gods would like that, Yogi. And now, Yogi at Colonus. I can't see! Why, Yogi? I guess I got my eyes closed, boob. Yeah, hey. And now, the third portion of this trilogy. Huckleberry Hound and Scooby-Doo meet Electra. Oh, my darling! So, there it is. The Yogi.
I'd like to do my Dave McMahon impression briefly.
All right, do your Dave McMahon impression.
Dave McMahon. Actually, here's my Dave McMahon impression.
I don't actually.
Well, that sensitive, introspective impression of somebody who the vast majority of our audience has never heard of, except, of course, through his fine work for The Vomit Wheel, which, of course, hasn't been broadcast in over a year. I think now, this is sort of turning into the Conan O'Brien show, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, all right.
I'm your co-host. my name is Juan. No, my name is
Hail.
No, my name is David. My name is Dave McMahon. My name is Davey McMahon.
He's going to be very angry when he sees this.
No. My name is Davey McMahon.
And now, my prize-winning rendition of Huckleberry Finnegan's Wake. Oh, my darling, river run past Even Adams brings us through Sherman and Bend Forward to Palp's house. I need you, you need me. Not really.
That's right, Pablo.
My motto is, there's a better way to do everything, especially this monologue.
That's right, my name is Davey McMahon.
I would like to send weapons to Antarctica so that the penguins there, for the very first time, could fly. They could fly! Of course, it would be straight up and it'd be vaporized instantaneously by the force of the blast.
Dave McMahon. Davey McMahon.
Hey, tell me something.
Yes?
What do you call a skinny Republican?
Well, I don't really know.
A survivalist. And what do you see when you see a fat Republican?
What's that?
Protective coloration. That's downright good. You know, this is working. I felt for a moment that you would detract from my glory, but instead, your oafish buffoonery serves to make me look good.
Oh, that's what that's you say.
Do you like working in a restaurant?
Yes I do.
Well, they say that working in a restaurant is like being a slave. What do you think about that?
I couldn't tell you. I haven't been outside in 3 weeks.
Well, it is like being a slave, except there's one difference. Slaves never got to mix Pepsi and orange soda together and drink it until they got sick. So, what if Mary, the Virgin Mother, had drank coffee?
What?
While she was pregnant with Jesus.
Right.
If Jesus had become an agent?
A what?
An agent.
Yes. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he would have. He'd be on the phone and he'd be going something like this. He'd be going, "Who's that? Mary Magdalene on line 3? Tell her to hold. Virgin Mary, tell her I ain't got time for her right now. I want to talk to the big guy. I want to talk to God, see? I want to talk to God." Oh, hello, God? Hey, Listen, big fella, why don't we rent a movie tonight? I don't know. Why don't you pick it? What kind of movies does God rent anyway? 3-hour epics, because only God has the patience to sit through them. Lawrence of Arabia, sounds pretty good, big guy, on a double bill with 1900. That's it. All right, we'll make a night of it. It's not an eternity, but it seems like one when you're renting movies with God. King of Kings? Nah, that's too depressing. I think the 10 Commandments, that would be a good one. What's that? You saw it? You wrote it? Oh, okay. Sorry. Listen, I'm going to go back there after do my performance art shit. You know? Like make a big mess in a temple and have them put me on trial and stuff. But at the end, it'll all be revealed as an enormous gag, see? And I'll rip my mask off and I'll be Bob Hope. The road to cavalry. You know? Solid. It's beautiful, man. We won't get Bob Hope to do it, though, because he's almost blind. He'd have to read off of cue cards that were a mile high. So, we'll have to get somebody that's sort of boring and pointless and kind of looks like Bob Hope. Conan O'Brien. Yeah, just shave his head. You know, give him a slight British accent. It'll be solid.
Wrong hero?
Yes?
Are you there?
I sure am.
What are you doing now?
I'm going to tell you a joke.
Do you know who this is speaking to you?
I believe it is you.
It is I, the ancient man. Come in.
Well, here's a joke for you.
Okay.
What's the difference between earth women and machinery?
I don't know.
Machinery stops whining when you lubricate it. What's the matter, God?
That was my God.
Oh, my God, why have you forsaken me? You are tuned to The Wrong Hero, performing live at the Middle East on the day of the biggest blizzard in the continental United States so far this year. And since the year has only had 8 days so far, that's not saying an awful lot.
We get a shot of you just going out the door of the snow.
No, we can't do any monkey cams. This isn't David Letterman. So sorry, boss. Well, stick around.
Well, no. Thanks for stifling.
Stick around. Stick
Well,
around.
I just can't. The question is, how much more is there?
10 minutes.
It's really, really starting to wear. I mean, not that it's not brilliant. And it's
I
not-
guarantee you.
It's just that it's starting to wear on you.
10 minutes. 10 minutes. I guarantee it.
It's my own fault for not being in better physical shape.
10 minutes. 10 minutes. Here, lift this table. Do your barbell sets or something. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'll put a cigar in a glass of water. You drink it, and that'll jazz you up a bit. What do you say? Okay, here we go with the final and concluding portion of The Wrong Hero in
Oh, hold on.
Stupefaction Guarantee, or your money back,
Hold on, man.
if I can remember where I put it, which isn't likely. My motto is, Boston is a hamlet blown up to poster size. My motto is, you can't love God. Don't do that, Jeffrey.
Do what?
Don't do that. Don't do what you're going to do.
I'm gonna do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But I just want to do it.
Don't do it.
Please.
No.
Let me do it.
No, it's wrong.
If I want to do it, I can do it.
That's true, but it's wrong.
Well, it may be wrong, but it's what I want to do.
No, you don't want to do it.
How do you know?
It's stale.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Are you certain?
Yes.
Did you pick it yourself?
Yes, I did.
You rolled it yourself?
No, but it's very stale.
You're certain?
I know it's stale.
So how come you so freely gave them to John Hanson?
Well, you think I'd give him a pack of cigarettes if they weren't stale?
That makes perfect sense.
God, for God's sake, if you're going to smoke something like crack or something. At least it does something. I mean, at least it's good for you in some weird way. I don't know what, but there's... My motto is...
Actually, Freud used crack
Oh.
on his patients.
Oh, you don't say. Well, so we have Freudianism to thank now for movies like New Jack City. Psychiatric consultant, Sigmund Freud. So, have a seat, and I'll be finished momentarily. My motto is that you can't love God unless God loves himself.
Yeah.
And that I can't have cerebral hemorrhages because I'm not smart enough, so I have stupid hemorrhages instead. And gourmet coffee is for people who still wish they used illicit drugs. And advertising is the Stalinization of commodities. And, oh, did I tell you about Malcolm X-ray specs?
I just can't tip my cat. I can't.
You know about Malcolm X-ray
I do.
specs, don't you?
Please.
Malcolm X-ray specs enable you to actually appear to see through white hypocrisy. Okay, I'll tell you what.
Listen, no, I know. You win. I agree. I'll drink the special.
No, don't drink the special. No, don't drink the special Kool-Aid yet. Okay. Do you know what a tattoo says to the world?
No.
Blood alcohol level 40. That's what it says. Jeff, I used to think that the moon followed me around for no special reason. But now I realize that it thinks that I owe it money. And that's why it follows me around. I'm the wrong hero. I'm as fickle as a newly bleached blonde, and I'm a happening waiting for an accident. What's that? Okay, I'll tell you what. This is actually something that you will find
I just can't take any more.
edifying.
I'm begging you.
Is it the
Please.
sound of my voice?
No, it's just, I don't know. Isn't the whole thing designed to engender this effect?
Well, it is called stupefaction guaranteed. All right, let me read from this news clipping here. This is from the Washington Times, put out by the agents of the Reverend Sun Young Moon, and it's called, believe it or not, 1993 was wacky. You're in the mood for some wacky shit, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
See, raise a glass to the Brazilian who tried to kill his toothache by shooting it. Why don't you read this?
I can't take too much more.
The Briton who gave her goldfish mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. The stressed-out Thai traffic cop who turned all the lights green. There was the case of the buzzard that keeled over from stage fright at a production of Mitridate in London's Covent Garden Opera House. In Miami, Rocky, a lusty Chihuahua, and Canella, a love-struck Rottweiler, stood testimony against all who refused to tilt against windmills. Sadly, their union was not allowed to produce a pint-sized yapper with teeth of steel. A veterinarian said it was not safe or desirable and prescribed a hysterectomy.
I have to go. Listen, I have to go and have all my teeth pulled.
Now listen, this is hilarious.
To get my spine tapped.
Look. Jocko, a Guianan monkey, had been breaking into homes, putting on lipsticks and condoms, and upsetting people with rude gestures and lewd dances. Nobody knows where he got the idea. Oh, here's the good stuff. In Harmony, Texas, a school agricultural teacher was fired after he allowed a student to castrate a pig with his teeth. And here's the one that actually made me laugh. A New Zealand scofflaw bit a police dog's ear as he was being apprehended. A man in Ottawa learned to not stick his nose in other people's business. A good portion of it was bitten off by an angry passenger when the man tried to stop a fight between him and a taxi driver. Doctors sewed it back on. Near Buenos Aires, a man died after eating an entire piglet. His family said his eating habits were out of control. That's the understatement of the year.
Okay.
Wait,
Listen, man.
wait, I'm almost done to the end of this here. A Brazilian prison escapee who died when he ran headlong into a lamppost. He had been looking back to make sure he was not being followed. The South African who won a $330,000 prize in a fishing competition, or thought he had, until he noticed that the competition had ended 3 weeks earlier. Come up here then.
No, you don't understand, man. It's over.
The man in Texas who was caught trying to sell a camping van while the body of the man he was accused of killing was still in it. The judge whose doodles triggered an appeal from a death row inmate, he had drawn a happy face on the letter setting the date for the man's execution.
Okay.
The prize for least observant goes to the wife of a Portuguese woman charged with fraud after spending 20 years pretending to be a male general in the Army. Uniform, chauffeur, and all.
I have to go.
See you later. Well, I'm the wrong hero, and this is Stupefaction Guaranteed. And in fact, I have guaranteed stupefaction to the degree that I have succeeded in driving everybody out of the room, even the club staff. And now that I am out of water, my show is nearly over. I would like to tell you my high IQ, but I forgot. People say the wrong hero is a psychotic pyromaniac. I will burn them alive. I like to call a bank at 2 a.m. and ask them, what are you doing with my money? I don't like people who tell children not to run. Who else has the energy? I thought I was a psychotic because I heard voices telling me to kill. Then I realized I was listening to the Howard Stern show. My life is like a Horatio Alger novel, 150 pages long and full of lies. Scientists now believe that the Big Bang Theory is not actually a very good theory of the origins of the universe. So I think until we come up with a better name for it, we ought to refer to it as the cosmic belch. Lorraine Hansberry, in her award-winning 1963 Broadway production of Raisin in the Sun, asked, after Langston Huston, what becomes of a raisin in the sun? Well, approximately 30 years later, I'd like to answer that. It becomes a dried out raisin, stupid, okay? I'm the wrong hero, and my motto is, celebrities like me want you out of their way. And I hope you keep this in mind. I filled out my unemployment form in 4 different colors of ink. And now I'm getting disability. I wrote my resume. It said, nothing I have done my entire life is of any use to you. Needless to say, I got the job, even though I didn't apply for it. Actually, I wrote my resume on a nest of fire ants. But the personnel office had sprinkled boric acid around the door sills, who were singing their hit, Hair. So I decided to go upscale, and I wrote my resume on a snow cone. But the personnel office didn't have air conditioning, and it melted. But finally, I got a job with the law firm of Shiny, Blue, Serge, Suit, and Tie. But on my first day of work, I came in wearing a turtleneck, and I got fired. So then I got a job with the law office of Pith, Brevity, Terse, Sullivan, and Laconic. But on my first day, I talked too much, and I got fired. Hard to believe? Well, as we conclude our presentation of Stupefaction Guaranteed, I'd like to give you a word from our sponsor, Oppression Perfume. Remember, Oppression Perfume is only half the demeaning humiliation of other perfumes. Also try Oppression Cologne. It smells like a horse collar. It smells like a horse collar. I'd like to end on this note by saying that 90% of all conspiracy theorists
are unemployed. They can't find a job, but they can tell you who killed John F. Kennedy. In their resume, under hobbies, they write, proving Oswald was a patsy. Well, I'm the wrong hero. And like most of us, I have been emasculated by technology. At least, that's what my computer tells me. I'd like to remind you that surveys are totally unreliable. In fact, like the wrong hero, surveys are always wrong. And that is why. That's because they are administered by psychotic slackers jacked up on burnt coffee. People, in fact, who are much like myself. This broadcast is coming from the Middle East, or, as I like to call it, the hummus hut. And the Middle East is proud to serve nothing but Drubi's, natural Lebanese Syrian bread. I wish they'd make up their minds. Is it Lebanese or Syrian bread? Only unbleached flour used, no preservatives added. Ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast. None of those fancy preservatives. And now I must leave you because you are beginning to annoy me, because you make me nervous, because you're evil. Evil. Evil.